You speaking to strangers, basically.
Basic.
But like dead ass though.
Look up, you'll see a star. Yep, that's me bouncing.
What the hell? I've been friends with you. I didn't know this about you.
Literally.
But you criminal.
But how you move when you feel like that is very important.
Not matter you. I wonder if Menenjan. Oh my God.
Get a grip.
Such a loser. You are such a loser.
That this thing is happening and how do I feel about it? First of all, who are you?
Which journalist? October the podcast is sponsored by Dreamstream. If you want to support us directly and gain access to ad-free versions of our show, please join us on the Dreamstream platform. Hey everybody, welcome back to October the podcast. I am Khanya Mweli. I'm joined by my good friend
Buhle Lupindo.
So we're two Libras navigating life in our 20s.
Yay.
And this is what if you're new here, this is what the podcast is about. And today we have a topic that we've had since last year, but we never really got a chance to like sort of delve into it.
Yeah.
And I just thought of it like, randomly sometime this week, and I was like, actually I feel like we should actually touch on
What made you think of it, actually?
Subject. Funny enough,
What triggered you?
Like, so okay, now I have to tell the topic first.
Yeah, okay.
Basically, we're going to be speaking about social media, basically the good and the bad of social media.
Yeah.
And what made me think of it is like, remember I was like talking to you about, I feel like sometimes about on social media I don't have decorum. I don't want to get into like what happened because it's a bit deep. But I was like, man, social media sometimes like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like as much as we're so used to like bashing social media and all that stuff, but there is like, there are the positives that come with,
definitely
social media.
Yeah.
So I wanted us to sort of elaborate and like speak about that as people who, number one, use social media. And obviously like our podcast, as much as it exists like on YouTube, it is a form of social media as well.
It is,
right?
it definitely is.
But we promote it on social media.
For sure.
And yeah, like,
and we've existed outside of this podcast on social
media. Yes,
you had
definitely.
your own YouTube channel. I have my own YouTube channel.
And
how long have you been doing actually social media just in general, Kengok?
I'll speak of, okay, I'm gonna bounce Mxit, I'm gonna bounce Facebook, I'm gonna go to Twitter.
Ooh, that's interesting. Actually, you can maybe start from the original.
No BPM.
Actually, how are you though in general?
Oh, actually, okay, before we actually sit on him, I'm good. I'm good, Shem. No complaints. And you?
That's
the thing. I'm like, no, I'm good, Shem. No complaints.
I'm also good. I mean, this week we were struggling with the Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. We woke up. So it's what week? So it was the public holiday, Workers' Day, public holiday.
Yeah.
We woke up and we didn't have any Wi-Fi. And I've been battling with Vumetal and AfriHost for the past 3 days.
Hey, how about you?
Bruh, like AfriHost, Vumetal.
Get your bag up.
When I catch you every month, I'm having problems with you all the time. Your Wi-Fi bangs. That's why I'm still there.
Yeah.
But damn, bruh, like, is it just me? So they just like giving me a hard time. But it's nothing that we can't get over. Khanya has been walking to. Actually, we won't name it. Hey,
it's like sort of like
a sports.
And I've connected to the Wi-Fi there before. So like when because I've been trying to like take walks and stuff. Like
yes.
That for health purposes.
And also,
so I'll just sit there.
Because Khanya has a weird ass SIM card. What's that? SIM
card?
FNB
Connect.
That's crazy.
Guys, why do you think I'm FNB Connect?
I'm just in London.
Okay, it's my mom who put me on like long ago. I used to even have an FNB cell phone. I don't care, like a son.
You don't need FNB cell phone.
There's a phone that's made by FNB. I promise you, literally, like in high school, baby, I don't shake like in my class, but Khanya, your phone, like it's sharping out.
That's a banking.
Yeah, that's a banking, literally. So I use that SIM card. So
maybe does it you were forward, like the technology forward.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, wait. So we've just been going. We're on Wednesday actually. Basically a plan, but we're just gonna chill in bed, watch movies,
literally
be like rot in bed, eat, and then
well, it still happened. It's just that now it didn't happen the way we had imagined it, but we still had a good day. We still had a good day. Yeah. Because the day after after we went to go watch the soccer. And then we came back a bit later. But anyway.
Was it not the day before?
Oh yeah, it was the day before. It was on Tuesday. Yeah, it was the day before.
But yeah, man. Otherwise, do you wanna dial it back to like back in the day? What was your first like form of social media? You speaking to strangers, basically. But like dead ass though, it was speaking to strangers.
Yeah,
so fair.
Because Mxit literally like you'd have like so my first form of online social media was definitely Mxit. Being Mxit, and I was just adding anyone and everyone.
It was
because Nyane, who I think I do recall talking to older people there. No.
Just playing.
No, you know when you used to enter those random chat rooms?
Yes.
And then would add you, and then you would ask them their age, of course.
And then they're like 18.
And then you're like,
I'm 12, bro. Like literally, because I had mixed it when I was like, I think 12, 10, 11-ish.
I was already in
like
high school.
We were probably in high school.
Yeah, I was already in high school. But BBM banged.
BBM banged. No, but actually, funny enough, I was going to remind you of something. Remember when we were at the soccer and you were like, that guy, and then when we got home, you were like, I used to talk to him about Mxit. How odd is that actually that we're having this conversation and you told me that? Because you were sitting there, you're like, I know this guy from somewhere. Yeah. God, you know him from Mxit.
So back in the day, I think you guys probably also did this before I moved to East London. Actually, I had Mxit in primary school.
Yeah.
So there used to be those random groups where the Balmoral girls and the Queenians used to be on them. And obviously as the girls, like a lot of the guys would add the girls. So I think like he added me or something.
Yeah.
And I remember him saying he's from Queens.
Yeah.
Hey, that kind of a Mxit boyfriend, kanen.
Hi, nguye.
Disappointing. What's the story? Hi, not here.
Damn, bro. No hate if you're watching this, but like...
But back in the day, he was kind of cute. I mean,
It's not...
Whore.
What?
So, that's all got jokes, no. And boys used to randomly like add us on Mxit, that's how a lot of the guys that I know from Queens actually started from there. Because now growing up, I used to be scared of boys.
Yeah.
But then obviously they would add me on BBM, and that's the only time I got the guts to speak to boys. But never, boys would initiate like a meetup. Oh hell no, that's never gonna happen. Never did, and I used to flake out all the time. So yeah, that was my first form of. So when I mixed it one for mana in high school.
Yeah, no, primary. I actually just thought of a story since like you're talking about boys or whatever. I remember when Hemingways was still a thing, like in East London, like in primary or like not high school really.
Yes.
Primary, like Oxford Hemingways and stuff like that.
Food court.
Yes. So I remember actually I was in grade 6 and then like I saw this dude and I thought like he was so cute.
Yeah.
But obviously like I never spoke to him or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I told my cousin and then somehow like she maneuvered and then we had each other on Mxit. I just thought about like
what was your Mxit name?
I don't remember.
Sexy Angel.
So I got a sassy. That was creepy, actually.
That was very creepy.
Sexy, like the sweet lips. What does that mean for a
strawberry lips?
Strawberry lips for a 12-year-old. That's scary. Nah, actually,
mine was innocent. I remember.
Why were our parents not looking at our phones?
They should have. Why
was it about sexy like sugar?
But social media online activity back then weren't so big in South Africa. Whereas I remember, maybe for us it wasn't so big, so our parents weren't thinking, but it's gonna be a pandemic. Exactly. But let me check, because only now the security of like being online started happening, because it started being safe, and then whatnot. But my Mxit name wasn't a sexy name. Because that's as sexy as I name. Mine was incoming hip hop virus.
What?
Can I tell you?
Oh, like that thing. Oh my God, you're so lame.
Yeah. And you know exactly what I was thinking.
Like notification, and then it's in.
I mean, like a virus, God, is hip hop virus.
Sweet.
Sweetie, it's we.
Oh my God.
And remember when Mxit had a, like, then obviously they started upgrading it, and then they had a, the leaving message.
Yeah.
The automatic leaving message.
Oh, they look it out, yes.
I also had an automatic, for the evaluated.
Oh my God. What did it say?
Yeah, city. City. Roses are red, violets are blue. Honey is sweet, and so are you. Look up, you'll see a star. Yep, that's me bouncing.
What the hell?
So every time I logged out, I'm on my message. Roses are red, violets are blue. Honey is sweet, and so are you. Look up, you'll see a star. Yep, that's me bouncing. That night. I already thought of Blanadi hip and happy because it's coming. Hip.
Wow, Shakyao. No,
but that is Shrubs in China.
Oh, you kill him.
Everyone knew me as incoming hip hop.
That's humiliating.
Oh, no one was strawberry.
I really don't remember my Mxit name at all, actually. I really don't. And then we moved on from Mxit to BBM. That's when everybody had Blackberries.
I didn't have a Blackberry for a while.
When did I get a Blackberry? I think grade 8.
Really?
Yeah, grade 8. By the time I was grade 8, I had a Blackberry, I remember. Because my very first phone was Sony Ericsson, the Walkman. Is it Walkman? Don't Lega Asha man, specifically purple ka Asha flip kanje. I got that in grade 6, and then I had it for 2 years. Then I got a Blackberry 8520. Was it 8520? Yes. Then we had BBM. BBM was fun. I enjoyed
that.
That
was fun. I loved BBM. I also that's when Hlehla came alive. Because on my BBM, I was Hlehla. I stopped using incoming.
Yeah. What was I on BBM? I'm sure I was like Khanya, but with 2 A's or something like
2.0.
Or something like that. But like, yeah, BBM was fun.
I really enjoyed BBM, like
the features, like the listening to music.
Yeah, that was such a conversation starter.
It really was. And then on. But you had the option to switch that thing off. So why am I saying?
I think they didn't. A lot of the boys didn't know that. As a video, they only thought it was music. Can you video? It's xxxx dot video.
It actually makes me think. Oh my God! It actually makes me think of Liquid Deep.
Yes,
BBM, and you will see. Can I be your fairy tale? Oh, guys, back
what
in the
a
days.
time!
And then we had Facebook. I wasn't really a big.
I want to touch on BBM quickly. Oh, yeah. Remember, was BBM or Mxit this one? But in love now. Man is in love.
I think it was BBM.
When now
I know Mxit.
I think they both had the same thing. And the New Year's. Also, Khanya, what was up with that? Like, ne boyfriend, ni swap login details. About it now chatting.
You might go F saying go.
You will
bring that shit back.
But log in. People used to literally.
Yeah,
for real.
And we said land.
You that thing used to be like so
like,
weird.
Oh my God.
Hey Chomi, it's her boyfriend here. Hey, abantu bachita nokulando.
Really?
Add me on BBM, yeah. Like let's say you're talking to like maybe my boyfriend. I'm on your profile picture, whatever. Add me on BBM. I log out, I clear the conversation. Then you find out about your boyfriend man on BBM.
That's crazy.
That used to be drama at the girls' school. I think maybe it was a girls' school thing.
No, because I don't remember it at all.
Yeah, people were like sharing boyfriends from doing that thing. Literally, but I'm a daughter.
Please, this is not that party. This is not that kind of show.
They will never be safe with me ever. Not ever. Then obviously,
then we had Facebook. Facebook, I wasn't really big really on Facebook like that.
I was alternating between BBM and Facebook.
Yes, but on Facebook it was more like just posting J. I guess it was maybe the first sort of Instagram-ish
it
that
was
we sort of had.
It was
actually, yeah.
It really was. Like I was just posting to save pictures and whatnot, but I wasn't serious.
It wasn't like a big conversation vibe.
Yeah,
really.
no, it was more of a status thing.
Well, okay, this is what I'm doing.
Your thoughts and views.
Yeah.
And then people used to have debates there with your thoughts and views. Would you rather have a gay son or a whole
thought daughter?
Why are
you thinking that at 16?
And like, shut up,
man.
Sexuality abantu. Also, we are be gay
or a thought daughter. Like thought.
I think it was being it was a form of being homophobic for some people,
to be fair.
Yeah.
And then we had Twitter again. I think that's where I sort of like was really, really into like social media like that. Like,
how did you start Twitter? Because I remember registered Twitter yonkinda. Then I'm same.
I think everybody has sort of the same story with Twitter.
Like, I didn't know how
it was like sort of boring. Like I don't understand how to navigate this thing, whatever. And then I think everybody was told the same story about like celebrities on Twitter, so you kind of want to connect with celebrities, and then that didn't really happen like that. And then.
Are you a musician? The Dream Stream Music Studio is now available on Sundays for only 295 rands per hour. It includes a 12-channel desk, a variety of mics and cables, electronic drum kit, and a laptop for recording. Terms and conditions apply and booking is essential. Contact studio at dreamstream.co.za for a site visit.
Yeah, then Twitter started becoming fun and like funny because it's like hilarious as hell.
And then it became my favorite app.
I
lost
for some
everything
time.
else. Then I just focused on Twitter. I remember stopping Facebook. I remember obviously BBM waphelelwa because now phones were different and whatnot. And then I was hyper focused on Twitter. I've always been like a Twitter personality shame. If I'm being fair,
I'm same to be fair.
If I'm being fair, shame.
Honest,
I even remember on Twitter. then Ed Agemaka on Twitter. Follow all the grey boys.
I've been friends with you. I didn't know this about you.
Literally,
but you criminal.
I used to because people used to write their schools them. And I had
no grey boys as did.
My man, I have a good. I know there's a good reason. It's not a good reason, but there's a reason.
Okay, must see if you Papa now.
No, man, I was following Grey Boys because I had just moved to PE, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get a boyfriend, and from Grey. I got Grey Boy.
But a podcast about of my baby.
For real. Son. And I caught one. Just for fun. Aye.
Why did I ask?
But I
wonder. Actually.
Yeah, I caught one from that. But wabai Twitter chatting person. Yeah, it never escalated into anything. Probably, and then in matric we finally met each other, but we had always been like Twitter friends.
Yeah.
But I was just trying to open myself up a little bit when I did that. It wasn't anything. I was still scared of boys. I've been talking to boys, but so I was still scared of boys. Yeah, so that's the revolutionary of
and then we've been on Twitter like since. I mean, I haven't really. I think it's been maybe 2 years now since
Yeah.
I've really tweeted. Yeah.
It does. I wish I was
Yeah,
you.
it's really been a while. But I mean, I've spoken about it in like other episodes.
Yes,
but
of
which
course,
I'm not
of
really,
course,
like,
of course.
feeling it anymore.
Yeah.
And then obviously now we have the different like things like TikTok. We have Instagram was already a thing as well. Like, also got Twitter. And then what else do we have now?
And then YouTube.
Oh,
and
WhatsApp,
then
YouTube,
and,
all of those other things.
And then the rest is history, as you guys know.
Yeah.
We're here now.
So what a lovely introduction. So I wanted us to like, I have sort of like a list here of things, that were sort of thoughts as to, the good and the bad of like social media.
For sure.
And I wanted us to sort of start with the good, because like
there's
really there really has been like a lot of good that has come out like, from, social media and all.
Yes.
And the first one that I wrote here was like it's given, people a platform to express themselves and also to be creative.
For
like what do you think about that?
For
like,
sure. I agree. I remember like Twitter specifically, shame, because I'm not gonna count the other ones. Like the chat ones were like so one-on-one. It's like having WhatsApp. So it wasn't really a place of expression, but more a place of communication.
Yeah.
And then Facebook and Twitter were the first places where I could express my thoughts and views. I hated using Facebook because people would always run back and share those thoughts and views with my mom because Facebook exactly. So Twitter, because parents found it hard to navigate and it was such they never looked into Twitter like that. So when I found Twitter, that was great for me. My thoughts, my everything were on there, and to find other and Twitter, it was almost like a big chat room. Of
Makeza.
Zintanga zakho. Even till this day, like some of the people I still follow are people I started with like in high school, and they were in high school, and to watch them now be adults and working,
have kids.
That's the beauty part. That's a beautiful part about Twitter. We've like some of the people there, I've really known them since 2011, and I've seen their thoughts and views change and them growing and all these things. And all of us, man, like, I loved Twitter. Like, it used to be my favorite place back when the woke culture started, which we needed. Don't get me wrong, we did need it because we had very weird views at the time. Because they were the views of the time. So yeah, man, I got addicted to Twitter. Literally, I'm still addicted. That's why it's so hard for me to like drop it. But I loved Twitter, man. Like, we all had thoughts, views. We shared those thoughts and views, and people would have those conversations. And you were able to like,
sort of it was a space like to go back to land, but like to express yourself, like, your thoughts, your views on whatever the world and whatever, and also a space to be creative, because I think that's how people let's say the start of like influencer culture. Because a lot of people sort of became twelebs when even the name tweleb was I think it was people who were more known for certain things.
Conversation starters.
Yes, especially like on Twitter, where you'd follow that person because and that's how sort of twelebs were invented, I guess, in a way. So I mean, I don't think that as much as like sometimes when you are doing something on social media, you don't necessarily realize why you're actually expressing yourself or you're being creative. It's a creative outlet.
100%. Yeah. I remember the person who introduced me to Twitter was Umasi.
Yes.
Umasi Piri, and she was a tweleb.
And she was funny. She was a tweleb. I remember.
Hilarious.
I remember.
On Twitter. Like, I remember feeling so honored being her friend because everyone would be like, yo, Masi, last night. You were so hilarious. Like, she was actually well known on Twitter, and I was like, this is so interesting. She was such a conversation starter. I really admired her about that and how she drove the conversation on Twitter. Like, she was one of the people who would drive whatever was being spoken about. But she stopped, and I kind of continued being on that platform. And that was my first time being creative thinker.
Yeah. But even like, for example, like Instagram, I mean, Instagram started as like, I guess, a place where people were just posting and
Pictures,
whatever. But I think as abantu on social media, we sort of take like, I think things differently, because I actually have a random example. I hope this person won't mind me saying this, but like, I know Unaso, she used to have like a Tumblr back in the day, and her Tumblr was so cool.
I know
and
exactly
now,
what you mean.
like, yes, and now that like obviously Instagram came into the picture, she's sort of like still was that person or creative. Whereas Tina, we were just posting like, oh, okay, or whatever. Whereas Yana, she used that space to sort of like express herself and be creative with it. And now like we see that she's like still like,
doing
into,
that,
like, art and being creative, and also like as an influencer and things like that. Yes, they've always been abantu ba creative.
That was
so I think like that's the nice thing about social media, that like people are able to,
express themselves.
and like be creative and whatever. And I think even when we draw it back to like influencers or influencer sort of marketing, even it's more of like people came into the space as them being creative, and then the marketing world, then the marketing world sort of stepped in to go, well, okay, can you be the face of whatever? Do you get what I'm saying? Because it seems like you like this, whatever you're doing. So can you, then a brand will like approach you like that. That's how I guess like Indobu influencer started. Yeah.
Powerful and okay, not powerful. But powerful. Period. But no. Powerful and because it's unlocking a memory for me. People from being influential like that started doing their own brands.
Definitely.
And involving it. I'm going to talk about the Eastern Cape because that's the reference I have mostly of. And then people would approach those well-known people to work. For example, that brand got dope.
T-shirts.
Even Samadala had a t-shirt. As a t-shirt, the brand work and the influential. Tragic lifestyle. Tragic lifestyle.
It's not that. It's not that. Because I like those guys.
I also like them too.
And at the end of the day, it's wrong for because obviously they were trying something, you know what I mean?
And it worked at the time.
Well, you know,
t-shirts that time were more.
It's like yo, if we're shooting with me, chill,
Usakubla lena nxoba iblazer, then kwakhona la picture ithe so very tragic lifestyle. There's a people,
and and that was them being creative. Because one of them, I actually followed him on I'm sure I still follow him on Instagram, but actually on TikTok, and it's like he's so good with it, and I was like, and he's still sort of
Dome.
No, someone else. I don't even want to mention it.
I want to look for Dome because Dome still uses that name.
He's good. He's good. Yeah.
I've never wanted a t-shirt more till this day. Actually.
Yeah, no, he's good.
What was it called?
What was it called? Yeah, Denim by Dome.
Yeah, but it denims is zincha.
Oh,
this is something else that
I'm putting it now. But then what dope, or by two?
I don't know.
They're brothers, most right?
Yes, they are. I wait. It doesn't matter.
Anyway, yeah. So what were we saying? Basically, social media was just like sort of a creative space for people to explore themselves creatively.
And then the influencer culture started from that,
I guess.
And the partying, and then the party started happening, and then people would promote parties. Who had big profiles. Influencers.
To be fair.
Yeah.
And then I also wrote like it gives you the ability to make friends.
Yeah, especially if you've got social anxiety.
Yeah.
And like I wanted to try something, but I didn't have the confidence to put myself out there, and using social media to quote unquote try to do something for myself was the easiest platform for me to do talk to people without the commitment of like talking to them in person.
And
because
to meet up,
as much as it was like about but nyani, like I'm a teenage girl, like diakhalelu tedane boys kind of I'm trying to use the reference.
But I get you. I know.
I didn't have the strength or the confidence to talk to guys, but I had the confidence to make friends. Making friends was very easy for me. Talking to other girls was very easy to me. So I didn't want to use social media for that.
Yeah,
I was just trying to. But even with that, like, it didn't amount to anything because so you got locked to so I'm referring it back to Lendu Teta ba nyani. It was about making friends or however you want to use the social media platform for you, basically. Yeah. I'm not constantly I'm going back to that conversation about
no, but that's so true. If it was a shame, to be fair, I didn't even add bana to even have like relationships, like romantic relationships, like outside of making friends, meeting people, you know, like in a romantic like way and whatever. Yeah. And that social media has really bridged that gap like quite a lot. And it's made things easier because on social media, people who have the same interests as you, and then you sort of like become friends. Because now I think there's like there are quite a few people that, you know, I wouldn't have known had it not been for social media. I think I can even make an example of, like, for example, Uzuzi, where, like, you guys are friends now, but had it not been for social media,
for sure,
you wouldn't have even known each other because, I mean, I guess you guys were worlds apart.
Yes,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
100%. No, dude. Like, I've made some dope-ass friends, like, now bringing it back even in the future. I've met some really, really nice people on there. And there's some people in Lennon Taiba that I've known from 2011 till now that I've seen them grow. I've seen them tweet about varsity, then going from tweeting about finding a job, then go from tweeting about being in a job. Now some people are tweeting about having families. So that, as much as maybe some of them I've never met them physically, but some of them feel like my friends because
no dead ass, and you'll be so happy for people that you don't even know.
I don't know you from above, so because before social media became weird of what it is, where people
Need a photo studio? The Dream Stream Photo Studio includes a 2.7-meter PVC backdrop in black and white and is available for only 115 rands per hour. You can also rent a Canon R6 and lights. All rentals are for studio use only. Terms and conditions apply. Contact studio at dreamstream.co.za.
Thank you, Ben, for coming out tonight. My name is
can't even take criticism, or they will always find, like, if they will use vulnerability against you. People used to be vulnerable,
but okay,
a lot.
But now,
you can't do that because people will use that against you. But a lot of these people, siabazi, like, we know you because you used to be very vulnerable
and tell us
and know your things.
True.
And
then I wrote like career sort of job money.
Yes,
whatever.
Of course.
It's a space where obviously you can definitely like
work with brands,
like use your creativity obviously to make money. And also, I mean, to promote whatever you're doing, even if you're not working with brands, but like, you know, get your name out there.
Like me and Khanya are saying, like, there were people from using social media who figured out they must start their own businesses and use their platform, like them making t-shirts and all of that. And then people started making parties and knowing that they're going to promote them on social media was brilliant. I wish I thought of that. But I like that. Like, people did make money on social media and still making money on social media. I think this is where we also come in. I mean, like, being approached with brands, collabing with other people, even getting like
and making social media a career, you know, content creation and all that stuff has become a career for a lot of people,
a career that can sustain you also, not just like pocket money, like into that will buy you new car, new tonton. We've seen people flourish from just social media.
And especially, like, I just had another thought, like, people who are in the creative space. So, like, I'll say, for example, like, in fact, in any way, whether you want to be like a singer or an actor or a director or whatever, YouTube has now given people that freedom where you don't have to depend on, going to like going to auditions or other people or production houses or whatever the case may be. You could create your own thing and just post it on social media and you're like, all good and well, you can make money from that, you know what I mean? Because obviously, like, social media has just given abantu a space to get your work out there. So, that is definitely like a positive.
Actually, when you think about social media, it's such a positive space. It's just the people who are using it negatively.
Yeah, definitely. And then I also wrote when connecting people. And when I say connecting people, I mean like across the world. Because I think obviously before social media, it wasn't really a thing like to be speaking to about like say America or whatever the case may be. So now we've come like, you're sitting here and you're like,
You know what, Nem? I was having this conversation with Uzuzi about this thing or to connecting people from overseas, I think what's happening now with America is that for the longest time, the only reference of America that we had was movies. And that always was like hip hop or anything like you can watch or however they can alternate how we need to see America, right? And then what social media has done has brought America closer to us to actually see the cracks in the cracks of what's happening on America. Like, I mean, I don't think all Americans are dumb and that conversation, but we get to see that the education system is equivalent to maybe some education systems here in South Africa or or whatnot. And then it's almost removed that facade. Because, I mean, I don't know about you, but for me, like, America has always been, like, the dream place you want
the
to
American
go.
dream.
The American dream, And don't get me wrong, like, I would still like to experience America outside of what I know and everything else. But it's not the first destination of thought process that I think of compared to when I used to be. And that's all been created from social media. Seeing everything that happens there, bringing it closer and realizing, maybe that's not where I want to start. And the exchange rate, and it ties back to connecting people like that. And that's what social media has done, has brought something that was so foreign to us, like so far away, bringing it so close and watching it and being like, oh, sherbet, like that's America or American people, Australian people, European people, whatever people. And even some cultures here in Africa where I'm like, oh shit, like
that exists or whatever. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And I think also like it's also made, other countries also like aware of like other countries or like South Africa, for example, because now South Africa is like the big thing. Whereas a lot of people like in other countries didn't know about South Africa, like the culture, whatever music and
the same way that
TikTok specifically has done that. Like, where it's made us like hyper visible to our detriment a little bit because but it has done that for us because I think more especially I'd like to single out America, unfortunately. They like they when is going to like Zimbabwe or going to Nigeria or going to Africa. Whereas like there's a difference between Zimbabwe and the cultures and everything and how they do things and how we do things and how in Nigeria, Algeria, whatever the case may be. So it's also like I think given us a space for people to learn.
Yes. And Nalando for the Americans now, shame. You know what? Even them, like, it's brought those things closer to them to see, but it's not the Africa that they were presented.
Yeah, mad hats and lions.
Because as much as, like, sometimes I want to be like, oh, Americans are so ignorant, their media also was presenting a different thing of what Africa is. So a lot of the times, like, yes, there is what's the word, like being like, there is a level of them being what's the word when you are not in touch with the world?
Disconnected.
Okay, let me use disconnected, but there's a specific word that I'm looking for. But there is a level of them being disconnected with the world because of what they have been shown and presented. And social media has shown them, but hey man, the lions, we don't ride them or as pets. There's no mud huts. Yes, there are hungry people, but that's not the painting of just Africa. There's
much more.
There's much more. So yeah, I like that point. Connecting people, bringing them closer.
I said like to learn about like the world, and I say this like in terms of like in a political sense, and in sort of like understanding like different ideologies and like having like a discourse, you know, on things that matter like in the world. And the nice part I think more especially about TikTok is that sometimes there's one discourse and like current affairs, but spaces like TikTok have made it easier because you get creators who explain it in like a normal sense, like not in, like big, you know, English
layman's
words, like layman's terms, and you're like, oh, okay, I understand, like this is what's happening and whatever.
For sure,
things that you necessarily wouldn't even. Okay, I studied BA, so I did have modules that obviously spoke about things that were happening. But I mean, I can imagine who left high school and decided to maybe do like financial accounting. Now, I'm not saying that those people wouldn't have interest, of course, but like if, for example, all I care about is accounting, so things like social media have made, you know, like those things there for you to see and to understand. And the nice thing about like photos or videos is that like it's different to text, where you get bored and you're reading, you're like, yeah, so I'm going to find a textbook. Whereas if you look at a video and you see a picture, like you can't deny. Like okay, it is what it is. Like what's happening. So yeah,
I agree with that, because when you were raising your points, that's the first thought that came to my mind. But for example, like Twitter didn't have the option for you to be very discourse too much on things because characters were short. So like, I mean, there's not much you can say about the world with 59 characters. So Twitter was very like straight to the point, say your point. Where people couldn't elaborate. And I think that's the difference between Twitter and other social media platforms, where people are saying things without elaborating their thoughts, and then you think that is the final thought. Compared to now having platforms like TikTok or and YouTube or any platform that has video form content, where someone will have a thought and they can elaborate with that thought. So those social media spaces are great. Now I learn a lot of things from TikTok. Like, I mean, we're a generation that hardly watches news, which I feel like we should.
To radio. I was
listen
gonna
to
say
radio.
That, yes, of course, like sorry for color. Yes, of course, like radio
is important.
Did exist, and like TV did exist. Exist. But I know for a fact I'm not like a TV show. I hardly ever watch TV. So in like trying to keep up with what's happening in the world, by watching like necessarily indaba, you know what I mean? So that's what, and at the end of the day, like we're that generation that's constantly on our phones. So it's nicer to have things on your phone, you know, like YouTube or TikTok.
So a lot of us get information from the platforms that exist, and I do encourage people, if maybe that's where you get like the worldly news, to actually go and read up maybe on actual news platforms like News 24. Don't take it blindly by saying whatever you watch on TikTok is facts and truth. It might be those people do research. I'm not taking away from the content that they do. They are doing research, but it's better to also think of like people who studied this thing, which is journalism, and getting your information, especially with current affairs, from that. But on a lighter note, social media has brought like news connection like closer to us and information closer to us.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, I thought of something as well when you mentioned like Twitter and how like it's kind of shaped a lot of people's like thinking, because I know for a fact like the things that I used to think like were okay or were, you know, like acceptable or whatever are much different after I had Twitter and there was that woke era. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like, hey, and the way I stood on business, and when I looked back, I was like, and I think I was, how old was I? I think I was like 16 or something like that. It was fun. Like even I learned that it was so stupid.
The disconnect with Twitter and thoughts is that una 16, who's calling you out is in varsity, una 18. You know better. So you can't be having a debate with umntana ona 16 osifundele i-NS.
And uzixelele ke lo mntana. And uzixelele
But
yeah, and then obviously as I grew and like woke Twitter became like more of a thing, and then obviously started like understanding, you know, but
sure.
okay, like this is right, this is what's wrong.
Yes.
And whatnot.
Yes.
And, like, I mean, we've grown. I think our views have definitely changed like, over the years.
And they will
that's
always
the impact.
change.
Yeah, that's definitely the impact that social media has
Yeah.
had. And then going to the negatives.
Ooh. The negatives. Of course, whenever there's a good, there is a bad.
Okay. The first point I wrote is like I wrote 3 things. I was like hate, jealousy, and projection.
Yes, I think that's an easy one. I mean, anyone if you're the thing is now with not to Twitter. The thing is with social media, it's allowed people to see in other people's lives.
Yeah.
So when you allow people to see inside your home, you also allowing the people who don't like you that much to see inside your home, which gives a lot of people leverage to know what to attack you about, what to talk to other people about, and like what to be jealous about. So as those negative. And that's the shitty part. Like, not everyone on social media is coming with good intentions.
Definitely.
So a lot of the times, like you're dealing with amagqwirha on the platform who are trying to catch you off guard and put you down. Your enemies. Your enemies are there, and they're seeing you when you're down,
and
when
they
you're
can't
up.
wait for that downfall. Yeah.
Always, and even when you're up, they're gonna find a way to put you down.
Exactly. That's what I actually wanted to get to, Bana. There's a way in which like social media where remember, I'm gonna make a perfect example. Remember there was this video that was trending, right? Recently up as vegan.
I'm on my feet, the underdog, and I won't be beat. Turn the lights up now, welcome to the show.
Are you a musician?
My eyes on the prize until I die. I'm gonna rise like
The Dream Stream Music Studio is now available on Sundays for only 295 rands per hour. It includes a 12-channel desk, a variety of mics and cables, electronic drum kit, and a laptop for recording. Terms and conditions apply, and booking is essential. Contact studio at dreamstream.co.za for a site visit.
That to go in the DMs. That was ujonge. It's like video. This is a positive video. It's a funny video and whatever. It's gonna get to Twitter, and someone is gonna say something negative, and I know exactly and then they're gonna bring up about that
and
video.
You are right.
And the people in that video. Like clockwork, I think the next day or the next 2 days, that DM that comment that junk.
Always.
Because a positive video on social media has a inner lifespan. And then it's hey man, man kanene. Isn't she the one that, or isn't he the one that did A, B, C, and D and whatever? Yes, of course, I'm not gonna get into the bad or whatever, if alleged bad or whatever bad that whoever said person did, because that's not necessarily the conversation I'm trying to have right now, because it could be true, it could not be true, whatever. But what I'm trying to get to is that abantu always have ezangqondo zobana, okay, you're done being up now.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Wait, cap.
And masi cap.
Nalando
ukuthi bana I sat sidikwa quick get like
ingcolile lana.
Ubani wena?
Ingcolile gqithi.
Ikhohlakele gqithi lanto. It's like siyadikwa kithi ngabantu badikwa rho.
Udikela indoni?
Why?
If wena ikudikile lanto kutheni ungayiyeki?
Ungathule.
Thula.
And uthi see ningobani in the grand scheme of things. Because I know for a fact you are not contributing to that person's life at all. So who are you to be like sidikwa rho?
It's because I think a lot of people project what they would have loved to be like. Because social media, you have to be a very vulnerable person.
Definitely.
And be okay with, and putting yourself out there.
And it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's not easy at all.
It's not.
It's not.
Abantu abaninzi banomona yalanto.
But for me, I could never. But let me, what I must do though is be like, you know how sometimes like men will say, but they hate land of like what do you call it now? Someone who's never played the game.
Yeah.
But will be like not like a commentator. What do you call it now? I don't know, sport like that. But
you know, commentator.
Not a commentator necessarily, but like a sports analyst or whatever the case is.
Yes,
but it's like you've never played basketball in your life, nigga. What are you talking about? Like you've never kind of in the gym. Like you don't know what it takes to be an athlete, but you're sitting on the sidelines trying to teach people how to be athletes.
Yes.
Yes, of course, fairness. Okay, fine. Yes, if we're gonna get into the semantics, I mean, it is possible in a way. But Oksala Zanga, why are you athlete?
No, Tina, someone who takes time to study something and understand something will not have the point and views of someone who's never does it. No.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Where there are people who have never played the sports, but who know the sports, who will have a commentary about it.
Yes, okay, yes.
And if you know the sports, a lot of the times you won't have a lot of negative. Everything will come from a place of knowing that thing.
Yes.
You may have never played it. Teaching. Yes. Then you get the people who've never played the sports, don't know the sports, but they feel like they have strong opinions.
What am I something?
And then yena luthethayo kulona uzawuthetha from a place of awazinto. And that's what social media has done. The people who feel like they watch the thing feel like they know the thing. And you don't know
the behind the scenes.
You don't
know, bruh.
You don't know how much work someone puts in, how much vulnerability they had to put in, how much it got them to, and why they're doing that thing. And people project their insecurities of that person because ungenapi at the same time.
I just had a point.
Yes.
Exactly. And for me, like, I'm not even gonna say he bandwagon at this point because it's more of a thing that's been continuously happening where people have so much contempt and so much hatred for influencers. And like they'll have this thing where it's like, oh, it's such an easy job and whatever. Yes, okay, if we look at it, let's say in the grander scheme of things, fine, being an influencer won't be as tough as being an engineer or whatever the case may be. But Oksalayo, being a content creator is not easy.
That's it.
It's not easy.
Being a teacher is not as hard as being a doctor.
And
being a doctor is not as hard as being an engineer. Being an engineer...
But kunzima. It doesn't take away from bunzima. Like him that say, you know what? Like I have an example now of Bana. If creating content is not easy. I'll think back to when we first started doing the podcast and we used to... That's why we had all the equipment.
Yes.
We had a mic. You have a good laptop. You had drive. What else did we have? Like
SD card.
SD card, but it was still tough for us because that's a content creation. I lulanga because can you mean mic very decide?
For sure.
For whatever reason. And more especially sometimes like, well, a lot of the times with influencers, you're working on a deadline.
Yes.
And if things as batanisi, things are not working out, outfit but if there's a lot that happens behind the scenes, and then by the time you see the finished product, there was a lot of work that happened in the behind the scenes.
100.
But people will always be like, oh my god, it's so easy being an influencer and influencers A, B, C, and D, and it's like that's an actual job. It is an actual job.
Uzibeke camera then uvuke and then udon. It's my thing is like
hold that because I have a point that specifically
must I tell the story or must you okay detail though.
Do you want to jump into that point then?
Okay, then to say your points. Okay, say your point because
but I wanted to keep it for the end, to be fair. The specific thing that I wanted to say.
Okay. I'll move on. Okay, I'll move on. But like people need to be real about influencer work. It's because it's something that you wish you could do. And that's okay. But now you don't need to bash somebody else's project, hobby, and whatnot. And another thing, like I was thinking to myself, people love saying, but yeah, all the influencers do is go to lunch. Don't. First of all, maybe I went to lunch on the Saturday and I decided to post it on the Monday. So I could have been free. And another thing people don't realize that some influencers have 9 to 5s.
Exactly, to sustain
the influencer life. And then also with the never mind get to sustain the influencer life. My city, they have 9 to 5s. And influencing is another part of a job that they do. So y'all need to relax with that.
And also, man, like a lot of times, especially when you're starting out, let's say you have a 9 to 5, right? You're most likely going to be taking a lot of that money to pour back into, like...
Because the passion project.
It's a passion project and whatever. And it's so unfair how people have so much to say about influencers and whatever. But you'll never see people saying, oh my God, being an actor. Oh my God, being an artist. And my shout Drake, man. Drake shouldn't have that much money. But he's killing it in the booth.
Because if we wanted to, we can downplay maybe being an actor. City, all you do is write rhymes.
And that's it. But it takes...
Why is it that...
It's a talent.
It's
you know what I mean? Like, not everybody can sit and edit videos and make them funny or make them beautiful, make them, look, movie-esque or whatever. And the sad part about, more especially with the influencers, that we manager yako, we creative director, you are the talent, you are the makeup artist, you are a stylist, we edit.
You the studio.
You need to also understand.
The equipment, you the
exactly.
Do they know you're a powerhouse? We won.
To the point where you'll ask your friends who know nothing about whatever. But mic is out. But that's what happens behind the scenes. But it's not no influencers.
I had one friend of mine when I was starting the influencer work. It didn't really register to them like how intricate it goes into like maybe making the video or taking the picture or whatnot. And then they spent like almost like a day with me type of thing. And then they like, Buhle, la video is simple. Uyifaka kwa Instagram. In a ring lights in a we are positioned now. We are don't. That's it. It was taking me an hour to do one simple reel, and they were like, dude, there's just so much. Ring lights. Even Bonang has that that famous sound. That's dead on. For you guys to sit there on TikTok and giggly and all that content that people are producing, there's hard work being put in there. People are putting effort to entertain other people in their natural spaces, and then you guys come online and be like, oh, influencers, yeah, dig. But they are the same people to be like, yo, mnasos ndiyithenge into until Yams reviews it. So, I'm trust. But umsebenzi wakhe is not real. You're waiting for them to review something for you to buy it with your hard-earned money, but their job is not a real job.
Imagine it.
That's crazy.
I think also another one is that social media has made us like disconnected with reality. And when I say us, and no, dead ass. And it's the weird people that's made them disconnected from reality.
Yeah,
because it goes back to the hate, jealousy, and whatever thing. Bro, just because Usman Mani bought a Lamborghini yesterday, that has got nothing to do with you. Stop sitting there and moping and feeling like you failed yourself.
Yeah.
You're literally 25. Umdana was lalini, raised by a single mom. You just got a job. Like, relax. People are rich out there.
Yeah.
Relax.
Yeah. And people are rich out there. And people don't owe you the explanation. And for you to take that
and take it as true.
And take it as true.
Like,
like,
stop. Guys, honestly, like, but yes, we understand that there's a deeper issue and whatever. But at the same time, guys, we need to go back to also blaming ourselves as people and taking accountability as people. That's if you're going to look at social media and mope and cry and whatever. Yes, obviously, we're all human. And you can look at something and you're like, oh, wish that was you, huh?
Yeah,
kind of thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
But and gone, man, I'd sit here. Go my son ahead, moshekelwe imini sana hayibo nanke ukifilwe postage hayi yamoshakala imini yami. What do you mean? What do you mean like, by that?
People have made jealousy their whole personality.
Their whole thing, like, bro,
that's
circumstances are so different. Like, hence I mentioned that when you were raised by a single parent, you just got a Joburg. Like, people are posting, we mention, That's like I was about to mention right now.
And also, guys,
and that does not give you the right to be upset at someone else because of their current reality.
Yeah. And also, guys, like, people are grown. Wena res una 19.
You're watching 30-something-year-olds who have lives that are established.
Please.
Who probably at 19 were also in the same space as you.
For sure.
Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
Bro.
Let's be real.
I really need us to touch words.
And the thing is, guys, I completely understand the conversation around, but maybe influencers have brought this reality that don't but is diga lanto because akho influencer ekutumileyo ba mawube ne Gucci bag. Akho
exactly.
Influencer ekutumileyo uyithatha wayenza personal.
Exactly.
Waqomba, oh no, that's something I need for myself. And that's okay. It's okay to inspire.
Yeah, to be inspired and to aspire to a certain lifestyle. But and then now, because you feel like, because of course, if you're looking at that thing with disconnected from reality, that's when it breeds some sort of hate within you. That's when girls will comment bang. Instead of not internalizing that thing and understanding, being like, oh wow, K-Yom's got whatever boards it bans. Oh my god, that's great and that's achievable. You know what I mean? Like go, you go, black woman.
Yes.
And then be like, okay, now I'm getting like I can work hard and be at that place in my life. And then you keep it moving.
And I think
comment about congratulations. Keep moving. Not man, you. I wonder if Menenjan. Oh my god.
Get a grip.
Such a loser. You are such a loser.
Get a grip.
I'm on my feet, the underdog, and I won't be beat. Turn the lights up now. Welcome to the show.
Are you a musician?
My eyes on the prize until I die. I'm gonna rise.
The Dream Stream Music Studio is now available on Sundays for only 295 rands per hour. It includes a 12-channel desk, a variety of mics and cables, electronic drum kit, and a laptop for recording. Terms and conditions apply and booking is essential. Contact studio at dreamstream.co.za for a site visit.
Get a grip. Even if, let's say, you have a proper argument of how people are attaining those things.
Yes.
Fine. That's your argument. Yes, we'll listen to it. Yes, we'll probably kiki.
And it so happened that
Nyani have into just fun.
But really
it's still ayo yakho leyo. Yena umadudu xa ifuna ukwenza criminal work, makayenze criminal work. Don't internalize that and make it yours. When I move in a logical way on how you want to attain those things. It's okay, guys, to want things and inspire and be like, oh, yeah, maybe it's okay. But how you move when you feel like that is very important.
It is.
It's very important.
Like, literally, bro. Like, because I'm just thinking now about how there's this new, like, train on Twitter where people speak about like how do people like hating and how people attain their wealth and whatever, which is fake because Nyani, like, people are criminals in South Africa, like for real. And like, hating somehow has taken us far because now we've had inquiries into Nyani. But then now people use movements like that for the like. Once a movement like that exists, people use it for as ulterior motives. But good shot, and on hate. You're masking behind this movement, and you're trying to make it like, I'm doing good for the country. You hating.
You're a big hater.
You're just hating.
You're a hater,
and that's
wrong. When you feel you're a hater.
Because in like uza upgrade from la band uzawuskathenga
enye and
then bayokhala thina semnandi. That's the thing. Like a sign. Then okay, yeah, basically I think we've covered this because I wrote societal pressures, but okay, I think we just covered it now, yeah, and then also like to sort of razzle dazzle because there is that girl. Okay, so actually,
with Uzuzi, yeah.
But Nyan guys also like to stop putting stop putting like ubomi benu like ba your ubomi benu makugavanishwe by other people on social media. Bayibokutheni engazicingeli ba ndanza ucinga kanje if wena uposte lento kutheni ungazicingeli ngengqondo yakho.
We hayi I weird ke umuntu ozawucinga njalo.
Like we're not like nobody's here to save you on social media.
For
literally.
Sure. Everyone's
like,
being selfish.
Sign. Okay.
Everyone is being selfish and being themselves.
Okay, and then second last one is over-familiarity.
Oh.
Yo, sweetie. Sweetheart.
Ngaba here all day.
Sweetie.
Every day.
Sweetheart.
All the time. All the damn time.
Ndingaqala ngaphi kanye azininzi. Azininzi.
Kuningi. The thing
Sana,
is,
I'm not your mate.
Yeah.
I'm literally not your mate. Sana,
leave me alone.
Like, bro.
Listen, guys. I think it's fair to like a personality, especially if they resonate with probably everything you want them to be. This is me also coming from a place of having people that you really like, that I really like, that you relate to. They say all the things you want to say. They even inspire you to be that person. They drive the things that you want. Maybe they dress how you want. That's fine. But now it's weird if you're going to think from seeing all of that, you know the person.
Me.
You don't know me. Because I am showing you a version of myself that I'm trying to present myself to the world. And this is not saying Bamna or any other person is being fake. I feel like I feel like no one wants to present themselves in a terrible manner.
Yeah. So
you are basically falling in love with the version of myself that you want to see. What if when the cameras are off, and I'm not nice and I'm not all these things? So now people tend to want to take that and make them personal and be over familiar with people and have opinions and thoughts and DM and think that oh no, diyakwazi ubuza lento just because ubukele an hour podcast no Khanya no Buhle ehleli apha, and you feel like it's appropriate for you to ask certain things. It's not. I'm gonna tell you that for free. What me and Khanya talk about iphela app. You can't extend this conversation.
Like, bro, like if you bump into me like in person, like soon was like, there's this. I don't even want to mention that question that people used to ask me. And it's like, bro, like, nah, like, I'm literally a groove, bro. Like, I'm not trying to talk about that. Like,
yes.
Please, like, yo guys, abantu, like, I'm here trying to have a good time. Like, please don't be asking me, like, is it like it's off? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, like, in the DM, sometimes you'll find that, like, and now you know me, and we had this conversation where I try my best, to sort of like answer all the DMs, like, that I get, and like try to be as nice as possible. But
yeah, where Ukhona I feel like that was so insensitive on their behalf. Who did that to me? Where something terrible had happened to someone who was in my life, and they felt like they should be the one to tell me,
to inform
that
you
this thing is happening and how do I feel about it. First of all, who are you?
Which journalist?
Son,
journalist.
First of all, now logically, when you send that message, do you think that hey, I kaloku beto?
What ke F?
My man kaloku. Hi. Come be real with yourself.
Like, bro,
before you ask anyone that you like, please be fucking real. How do you think that person must respond to you when you ask that thing? It's a different thing to ask. It's different thing to ask Khanya, oh, nice kimono. Like, where did you get it?
Or,
fine.
Like, do you know what? Like, there is that line where it's like, okay, you do share certain things, right?
Yes.
And I guess people would want, like, an update of sorts, I guess. Like,
do they need that update?
That's the thing. Like,
they don't.
It's like you don't. But, like, how do I say this as how I'd maybe try to see it, maybe let's say as like an audience or like a consumer? Because you know how Nati, we sometimes like will say, but you are got as influencers, ask me anything.
Listen,
Do you get what I'm saying?
I get you.
So I don't want to come across as like I'm that type of person that would do something like that. But ask me because it's like God.
That's it.
But I think what I'm trying to paint is God.
No. I feel like as an audience, you have the right to ask if I open that room to ask. If I ask, if I do a Q&A on mine, don't know, DJ, hey, I want to talk about mental health.
Or like a live
do you have any
update.
questions? That's your room to ask what you need to ask. Perfect. Or a live update.
But okay.
Perfect.
You still...
the influencer is the one being funny if they have opened up that room and they're not willing to open up that room. Ufani because... Go live updates, then go fun. But now the people we are talking about is like maybe in one of our episodes, Lendo's thetha ngayo ngoku. Aqomba uzayo kwi DMs abuze Khanya. The conversation ended here. It's not my phone.
Of which is like F kaloku.
Asozizwa and also kutheni wena ungonelanga ngesi story
besibeka ku YouTube
yonela
kutheni ungoneli. But also there's that thing of kutheni ungoneli by reading the room. For example, if God forbid you and I would have a fallout,
yes,
and now we don't post with each other anymore. Oh, I'm dasekhaya kodwa uyandibona mana ndifuna uthetha ngayo. Kutheni ngokubona ufostel bana yathini into yakho okay?
Ewe
hayibo mntase.
And guys, it's okay to have those thoughts. Nathi sinazo those thoughts about other, but akho nto ithi maningene kwi DMs
guys, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna have to say this, but like I think I'm just generally like the dalongo hlobo fine. I think I'm above certain things. I'm so sorry. Like I'm so above certain things. I'm not picture yam mna. I am like Khanya xolisile mna and picture yam. Ndobuza umuntu ngamaziba. Ayibosana. Into
utheni wahlukana ubani man?
Ngoba na life.
Yoyikis.
I don't see yoyikis. Trust and believe. Zonke into ezenza ku social media. Ndiyazihleba netshomi zami. Oh hey, ayikwathini ke but I'm not gonna go to that person and like nag them. What about this Dima Sam? What about a Sam is Dima? I'm sure the grounds of uzilana.
Yeah.
Kuthiwa uba grounds. Kuthiwa umntathi mother.
Mother.
Uthe what are grounds uthe ba usithelo is mother.
Hi. Nyan, for real. You, for real.
People really need to get out of their heads, bro. Like, this is just real life. Like,
yes.
Yeken man, you can't be normal.
Call this is social media as a normal person.
As a normal person. And
it's super weird. And I need you to refer it back to yourself.
And the land that's in the Indians, my thing, man. You know, people who.
Need a photo studio? The Dreamstream Photo Studio includes a 2.7-meter PVC backdrop in black and white and is available for only 115 rands per hour. You can also rent a Canon R6 and lights. All rentals are for studio use only. Terms and conditions apply. Contact studio at dreamstream.co.za.
Thank you, Ben, for coming out tonight. My name is Augusta.
Take celebrities. Like ababazi for real. Guys. No. Like it's okay to love people and to love their craft and I guess whatever. But like to I'm like, who? Hey. I know my queen would never. Hi. 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 Ungafunda naye. Mama wayifunda naye shame. Jiji ngubo yes. Esibukeng high school. Hi. Hi, Joa. Uma ufuna ubona izinto, ngena ku-social media, uzawuzibona izinto ubona ayibobomu.
Akho ingxaki. Someone said to me, someone tweeted that, and yo, that guy saying, fuck, this is so real. Uthi ingxaki kalokhu thina bethu sifuna nabantu babe kwi-special classes.
No,
the real. Which is rude. That person said was very rude. But I just need to use it. But
seriously,
abanye benanuka special classes.
Twitter song is lap.
I did not logic. So okay, see his point of view
then really wrong Orlando man, guys, honestly. And then the very last point, which I thought was a bit important, is how people have made it a point to make themselves not know the difference between creating content and content that is reality. You know that creating content up, but you just want to be
extra
about it.
Yes.
You content creators avuke ebhedini
real.
It's called weird. It's called
weird.
You know that video of you me dreams no MXO, and then he's like, baby, I was just trying to say subscribe. That was me right now. You're passionate.
It's called special.
Discourse.
Baby. Discourse. Yeah, English.
No, lato bana. You know when we content. So go to ba. Oh my God, it's videography, like it's filmmaking, bro. Like we're trying to create a story. It's story.
She's upset. Yeah, it's storytelling. It's storytelling. It's storytelling. Ukugezela izikolo zabantu okwazi nokuthi storytelling ngoku. It's biggerness. Nifuna biggerness. Anikwazi nokhumsha. Nifuna biggerness.
Oh God, it's majorly. Anyway, storytelling
it really is.
And abantu will make it a point to pretend like they don't know. But you?
Because funeka kuhlekiwa lo.
Sana.
Funeka kuhlekiwa.
It's like
there's
this not channel, sorry, there's this TikTok page. It's got that couple. It's called Christy and whatever. The husband, the wife likes pranking the husband and whatever. And I can understand how that could look annoying.
Yeah,
right?
Pranks are annoying, yeah.
But guys, they are creating content. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like,
I get you.
It's like it's like back in the day where you used to have like what was it called now? Mythical
Mythbusters.
Impractical Jokers or some shit like that.
Oh yes.
It's sort of like the same thing of Bana.
They're constantly pranking each other, knowing that they're pranking each other.
Yes, I don't know how to explain it. It's like
they even had those four guys. Are you talking about that?
I think
they knew they were pranking each other. They never knew when it was happening, but the whole thing was like
it's content. Like it's an art form of its own. You know what I mean? But people will make it a thing because they expect your content to be this whole real thing. And it's like, at the end of the day, if I'm creating this piece of art, I have an intention for what I want to get out of this. Whether it's for a brand, let's say, whether it's not even for a brand, like it's just something that I want to create. If I feel like, if I feel like I want the story to go like this, then it's going to mean that I'm going to put the camera here because I want it to look aesthetically pleasing. I wanted to tell the story that I wanted to tell. And it's like also when people like try to create like it does a comedy and whatever, like once we're setting up so that I can get a reaction out of you, which is insane. You get what I'm saying? And people are so quick to hate and be like, oh, content creators are so fake and this and that and whatever. And it's like, bro, like it's an art form.
It ties back to Lana Bendi Tetaba. if you don't know my life, and what if the picture or the video they shoot it on Saturday and I'm only posting it on Monday, and you think that that's how my Monday looked? I'm creating a story. It goes back. And some people's pages are dedicated for a specific type of content, which goes back to Lendoka Christine and maybe their page is about the pranks that they do all the time. But we don't know if Christians are everyday life.
Exactly.
What if we are once a month, but we post once a week? And so when that guy is faking the laugh. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. I don't care.
We don't know. But him laughing, maybe what they want is for you guys to laugh at his laugh. Exactly. And that's where the magic is.
Where the magic is. So, guys, let's be fucking for real. No one watches a movie and say,
of course, but it's entertaining.
It's entertainment.
Exactly.
And if you want realism content, follow realism content.
Exactly. Bukelani lives. That's where, where it's gonna be real.
For real.
Like nothing that's we sit here, we do a podcast and whatever. There's parts where we're gonna take out because we're like, actually, nah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not really feeling that or whatever. Or I look ABC and D. Now you're gonna sit here and tell me about why fake. Because kaloku ba remove it, because kaloku shot or whatever the case may be. And people also fail to understand that when it comes to content creation, especially people who take it as a job, it's really a job. Like there's a schedule, there's a whatever. May have taken these pictures like a month ago, but I was posting or whatever. Or you know how sometimes people will, let's say like Valentine's Day, and people will have like a Valentine's shoot. Some will do a Valentine's shoot like January. But 14 cafe, who's I post, you know what I mean? So I think people need to also open up their minds and not be so quick to try find like the negative of like content creators or your social media or whatever the case may be. But yeah, man.
Overall, Citizens are personal. Have fun on social media. Yes, learn things. Yes, criticize things. Of course, guys, criticize.
Yeah, of course.
Call out. Do everything. But also, social media is fun. Keep it like that. Don't bring it back to your personal life, because life doesn't work like that. People are showing you 10 minutes of their lives. People are showing you 5 minutes of their lives. People are just tweeting one opinion that's not an elaborated thought. Keep it like that. Keep it there. Challenge it if you need, but it must end there. Don't personalize it and it's not yours. And if now where you're out there and you want to create the content that you want to create. Unfortunately, people will always speak. People will always have negative opinions. Now man, did you be problematic and all of a sudden you are dishonest about a lot of things? No, don't do that. But also, it's okay. It generally is okay. And as a person who consumes content, just consume the content and keep it moving. Yeah.
And I think another important point I wanted to raise up is that consume content exactly the way you want to do it.
Yes.
But also if you want to be on social media and be active, express yourself the way you want to do it and not in the way that you see other people doing it. And for example, yes, of course there are trends and things that are in, currently, but so many people have made it big by being the person that's different.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I think that's something that I want sort of our younger audience to understand and to learn. Mana, I know, excuse me, when this whole influencer thing was becoming big in South Africa, a lot of it was the popular girls were the girls that were more
authentic,
but was more the aspirational, sort of beauty, lifestyle kind of thing. And then it trickled down to anything that however you want to express yourself, you can become popular using that. And I know there's this girl actually on TikTok that people better make a fun of her, and I actually really love her. I just don't know how to pronounce her name. Gelman Unala sound iti when you see me stepping out looking like this. She dresses I would say it's weird in a way because it's not what we're used to seeing. Yes, you wouldn't. When I'm out here looking like this,
people be asking me, "What's up?"
Something like that. Yeah, and we're so quick to want to make fun of things like that.
Yeah,
and then once something that makes it big, then we'll be like, "Oh yeah, I always knew she was gonna be a star."
Yes,
no, you didn't.
You didn't.
So
know that.
I'm glad that there are people like her, who express themselves however they want to express themselves, and not have to be the girly girl who goes out and does her nails and her lashes or whatever the case may be and presents in a certain way that used to be seen as like the OG influencers or whatever.
And also, and sorry, did you finish your point?
Yeah.
And also, I want to say, man, you guys are also very unfair as the consumers. And this is me coming from a place of being a creative and not being in the middle and saying, oh, I'm a consumer, being a creative. You guys talk about wanting different content, and when you are presented different content, you're quick to bash. Because if I learn about, oh, everyone's doing the same, everyone's wearing a Gucci belt, everyone's done, and then you get someone who's trying to be a creative thinker in how they dress, and then you bash that girl, and then you go back on the internet and you say everyone dresses the same. So it's not about everyone, it's because you didn't want to see that type of content, or you didn't want to see anyone else trying. So if, first of all, the algorithm pushes the content that you want to see. If you're seeing the same thing constantly, it means that's the content you want to see. And you guys are not supporting other influencers that are doing things that are completely different. So let's be honest and also take accountability ourselves as consumers and try to search and look for the content that we want to see. And if the content you want to see, create it. Then it means there is space for you to create that content and for you maybe to utilize something that's never been done before. And if you can't be the person to create that content, shut the fuck up.
Did us.
That's the last thing I'll say.
Yeah, that was funny, passionate, la. We are late, but yeah, that was a fun episode.
Yeah, I also like that.
And yeah, guys, I think we just all need to do better.
Yeah.
And I out there. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that episode. And yeah,
don't forget to like,
comment, and subscribe, share, follow us on our social media platforms.
Tag guys. Also, if you post it on your Instagram stories, tag October the Podcast Instagram page. We have an Instagram page. We actually have a Twitter page. We have a TikTok page. Do we have a Facebook?
Yeah,
we have a Facebook page. Take your favorite parts of the snippets, share it, tag us on our personal and on the shared Instagram page. Comment down below any other points, maybe good or positive, that you feel like should have been added on. Maybe we will discuss it next time. And comment down below your thoughts and views.
Platform.
Bye.
Hey,
ndikukwenza laa nto yakho uthi umamakho wayeyenza uba ukhanya uwenza nto ngo waba yi-security
exactly umuntu umlahle sana nge-answer hayi wafa wethu
comment down below, give us your thoughts and views. We actually want to hear your thoughts and views. But that's all from these two Libra girls. What do you think?
Done with love. With love
and laughter.
No, and humor. Is it not humor? It's humor.
Humor. What?
Okay. Bye-bye, guys.